All right, hello everybody, and welcome to today's masterclass. I am so thrilled that you're here. If you haven't said hello yet, please come into the chat box. Make sure that your chat box is selected to all panelists and attendees so that everybody can see any questions that you have about pricing, about money blocks. We're going to be talking about it all today. And if you have any questions, also put them there. I prefer to use the chat box rather than the Q&A because that way I can keep everything in one place. I want to start with a story that is from California, where I'm originally from. I've been living in sunny Israel for 36 years, grew up in sunny Los Angeles. But as the story goes, there was this traveling salesman by the name of Tom. And for those of you who know California, there's like Los Angeles and San Francisco, and 6 hours of driving between Los Angeles and San Francisco. And there's some nice towns along the way. There's Santa Barbara, other ocean towns, but there's a lot of small towns where not a lot happens in California. And you might know that there's a song, It Never Rains in California, It Pours. And it was one of those pouring wet nights in California, like sheets of water coming down. You know, the saying, it rains cats and dogs. It was one of those nights. And Tom pulled into a service station because he needed to fill up his car with gas. That's what happens when you're traveling and traveling salesman. And the gas station attendant, we'll call him Jim, came out of, he was there, he was like keeping warm, he was keeping dry, and he had to come out into this pouring rain to fill up Tom's car with gas. And Tom, being a salesman and a chatty kind of fellow, struck up a conversation with Jim. And he said to Jim, I bet you hate like nights like this. It's rainy, it's cold, nobody's out on the road, nobody's coming into the service station. And Jim actually said, no, I love nights like this. Tom was a bit perplexed, like, what does that mean that you love like these rainy, cold nights like this? And Jim said, on nights like this, when it's pouring buckets, all the rubble, all the rocks, all the nails, all the glass, everything that's hanging around our small town gets washed into the road. And when people go back onto the road, I know that they're going to be driving over this rubble, this stuff, these sharp objects, and they're going to have flat tires. And they're going to come into my service station and they're going to change their tires with me. And Thomas, we're going to be talking about money and money blocks. It's like, oh, like Jim is a little bit greedy. He's wanting everybody to come into his service station and he's like wishing on them evil that they should have flat tires. And he asked Jim about that. And Jim said, like, no, it's going to happen anyway. But as a business owner, I mean, he didn't think about it in those terms, but he said, I can't control the outside circumstances. I can't control the rain. I can't control that there's a bunch of garbage on the streets that's going to get washed in, but I can get myself prepared to handle the circumstances in the best possible way. So I make sure that I have like good quality tires. I make sure that I'm always serving my people with a smile so that people are just going to know that Jim gives the best service in town and they're going to want to come to me to get their tires changed. And that, if you leave with no other message from today's masterclass, but I think you will, what I want you to remember is you cannot control the outside circumstances. We're going to be talking about prices. We're going to be talking about money, and people outside of you are going to have money blocks. People are going to have thoughts about your prices and the way you set yourself up for all of the external circumstances. That is going to determine the future of your business. So without any further ado, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to share my screen. While I'm doing that, if you have questions about pricing that you haven't been able to have, shared yet, we haven't talked about it yet, just go ahead and feel free to put any of your questions into the chat box, and we'll get to them when we get to them. All right. And just if somebody can just pop in and make sure that you can see my slides, just let me know that you see the slides for today. I shared my screen. Everything's good. Nobody's commenting. You see it. Excellent. All right. So today, 5 pricing myths to bust to break through your income ceiling and earn more and build wealth for you, for your family, for your future, for your community. Way too many words for a first slide, but And okay, someone's already asking, is there a limit to how much she can charge as a massage therapist? We're going to be talking about all of that today. Khadba, just like hold on to your seat. We have 5 pricing myths to bust, and I also have a bonus for you, a bonus money block, because I love talking about money. If you know anything about me, and if you don't, some of you have been in my world for a while, some of you are newer to me. So for those of you who don't know anything about me, this is me. I am a certified life coach and money coach. I'm also an EFT practitioner, which is tapping, for any of you who don't know what tapping is, and a nervous system, like deep dive, like embodied healing coach. I have like 4 or 5 certifications, plus a long history of work on Wall Street and in financial planning. I'm the author of this book, The 1K Investor, Simple Smart Steps to Start Investing with $1,000 or Less. And I'm the host of the Jewish Entrepreneur podcast. So I have more than 35 years. I have to do the math. Maybe it's even 40 years, almost 40 years of experience in the financial industry, everything from very practical, managing money, investing money, to all of the emotional triggers that we have around money. And what I do now is I help women and men in business, but most of my work is with women, helping them to clear their blocks to money. Anything that's stopping them from showing up and getting paid well for the beautiful work that they do in the world. And when you clear your resistance to money, your thoughts about money, that is one piece of being able to master sales conversations. And when you are working with a potential client, a prospect, you have to sell your services or your product. That's how we create business. And a lot of women feel resistant, hesitant, or awkward in these sales conversations. And I help my clients overcome that awkwardness and that like ickiness and resistance to sales conversation. And that's how you create financial stability and sustainability as a business owner. You earn more money and you build wealth for your family. So this is what we're going to do today with the beautiful things that we do in the world. Thank you for sharing that. Right, we are going to start by defining what money blocks are and what money mindset is. These are terms that are just bandied about. I'm going to give you my definition, which may or may not be the same definition you've heard before. Then we're going to talk specifically about 5 pricing myths that might be stopping you from earning more money. They likely are stopping you from earning more money in your business. I'm going to give you some reframes, new ways to think about your pricing. And then I'm going to tell you about my program, Wired for Wealth, which is a group coaching program for women in business. And we're going to have time for questions and answers at the end. So again, if you have a question, feel free to put it into the chat box. And I hope that during the course of today's class, we're going to get to that. And there is going to be a replay available. Make sure that if you don't catch it all the first time, that you get the replay, because the replay is going to be very valuable for you to listen over and over again. So let's just start by defining what is a money block. So a money block is a thought that you have, something that you're thinking, or a feeling in your body that gets in the way of you achieving greater financial success. And financial success is a very broad term. It includes how much you're earning, right? The prices you charge, that's specifically what we're going to talk about today. How much money you're saving. And there's a difference between saving and investing that I talk about in my book. We're not speaking about that specifically today, but saving money, having money set aside for things that we know are going to happen or they're likely to happen in the future. That's where we want our safe money to be kept. And we invest money for the future. And some people are afraid of investing money, let's say in the stock market. They think that the stock market is like an emperor without clothes. It's Russian roulette. And they are very hesitant about investing in stocks. They'll only invest in real estate because it's something tangible. And not being willing to invest in stocks is a money block. And I talk about that more in my book. A money block will stop you from getting out of debt because it feels so familiar. I was recently having a conversation with someone who wanted to, really talk about earning more and making more money and having sales conversations. And I'm like, hey, you're in debt at the moment. And what that's doing is it's shutting you down because you're in scarcity. We need to figure out this debt situation. And because she had a lot of debt. I mean, I'm very neutral about debt. Anybody who has heard me speak about debt before, I think that debt is a beautiful tool, financial tool that you can use to have leverage and grow your business. But her specific situation, it was the magnitude of debt, the debt was like really holding her back. There was a lot of resistance to being more abundant. So your money blocks will stop you from getting out of debt. They also impact how much you're spending. You can spend too little, believe it or not, there are people who spend too little. They don't take care of themselves well. They're spending a lot of time trying to get the best deal, running all over town. And a money block will also cause you to spend more money than you might, than you might need to do or want to do, because you have some resistance to like stopping and slowing down, taking a deep breath, waiting 24 hours or 48 hours before you make a purchase. And that's also a money block, feeling like I need to get it and I need to get it now. A money block will stop you from working less, like really doing your maximum effort, what we say in Hebrew, hishtadlot, right? But then stopping because you've done enough and you're handing it over to God, because you know that all of our success is in his hands. And money blocks will also stop you from giving more, donating more, sharing more with the world. So those are all different types of money blocks. Now let's talk about your money mindset. And I want to just pay attention to this word mind. Your mindset is what's happening in your mind, but there's also a visceral reaction, an embodied reaction to different financial or money situations. But when people talk about mindset, they're really focusing specifically on thoughts about money. And so it's your unique set of beliefs, your core beliefs about money and how money operates in the world. The rich always get richer, the poor get poorer, right? Money doesn't grow on trees. Things that you might have heard your parents say about money. There's never enough. All these different money messages. And I'm sure you could write, 10 of them right now in the chat box that you heard your parents say about money. Money doesn't grow on trees is for sure probably the number one that we all grew up with. Money is a man's world. Money will make you evil, all sorts of different money beliefs. And your core set comes from what you heard about money when you were growing up, because until about the age of 7, we're all blank slates. We're sponges, and we just absorb what we hear from our parents, and we download that into our subconscious mind. So your money mindset will impact how much you believe you can and cannot earn, what you can do with money. We talked again about saving and investing, right? We'll talk about your saving and spending habits and any investing patterns. We talked about that already. And your money mindset and your core beliefs about money are programmed into your subconscious mind. And here's the little bit that's beyond the mindset part, but they're actually wired into your nervous system. You will feel scarcity in your nervous system. There will be a tightness around money. There will be sometimes like you might feel like you're being clamped around your throat, or your shoulders get tense, or your stomach gets a butterfly, like butterflies. So that will be your embodied relationship with money, which we're not going to be talking about today, but just know and even notice as you're having an interaction with money, a transaction. Even if you're quoting prices to a potential client, you can just like pay attention to the energy in your body. Is it free flowing, or are you feeling any tension anywhere in your body? So that's not your mindset. That's actually a physical embodied relationship with money. But we're not talking about that today. We're going to be talking about myths around money. So the number one myth that I hear from so many of my clients and other people, even clients who reach out to work with me, and they're inquiring about my one-on-one work, or they're inquiring about my group program, is it's a lot of money. And what I want to share with you is your price is a number. It's a neutral number. It's not a lot. It's not a little. Your price just is. And when you go to the store, or when you reach out to a different service provider or someone who's selling products, right, goods, services, they have a price, and it is simply a neutral number. And you get to decide, or your clients get to decide, if that number makes sense to them. But if we start thinking that our price is a lot of money, what that does is it blocks us from really understanding and connecting with the true long-term value of the work that we do in the world. Because your service or the product that you sell is worth what it can do for your clients, your customers, for the buyers that are coming to you over the long term. There are long-term results that your clients receive, and it's never the price that they pay. And I'd like to share this example. 5 years ago, my husband and I bought new beds. We just had our 34th wedding anniversary a few months ago. Mazal tov to us, God willing, another 34. And my husband was having a lot of back problems. One of our children got married at the time, and he was having such such painful back problems. He couldn't even dance at our son's wedding. That's how severe his back pains were. So we went to get new beds, new mattresses, because the other ones we'd had for 29 years and it was time. And we didn't really pay attention to the price because his back pains were so severe. It was just non-negotiable at that time. And again, the price wasn't what we paid at that time, but we've been using those mattresses for 5 years now. I love my bed. I was in North America just now for 3 weeks. I can't tell you how happy I was to get back to my own bed. No more hotels. I even was at my parents' house for 6 nights, but it wasn't my bed. And I love my mattress so much because the long-term value of having a good quality mattress is way more important to me than an extra $100 here or there that I'm going to pay one time for the price. And that's important for you to recognize also. Whatever you are selling, there's going to be a long-term value and results that your clients are going to receive. Even something as like small as a glass, right? I paid once for this glass. We've had it for many years. It's one of the few of this set that hasn't broken yet, right? And I hope that I didn't give myself an Einhara and it's not going to break now. But that glass has a value because it holds water for many, many, many years. It's not just the price that I pay for that one time. So if you're a service provider, again, if like for me as a business coach, helping my clients grow their businesses, once they can create their first $10,000 or $20,000, $50,000, $100,000 in their business, those are results that they can repeat over and over and over again for multiple years. It's not the one-time payment, but they get to change who they are as a business owner for many years to come. So there is a long-term result. And when you're thinking about the price that you're charging, don't think in terms of it's a lot of money. Think in terms of what is going to change in my client's life or business for the long term. So here's how you can reframe your thoughts about your price. Number one, all prices are neutral. They're neither a lot nor a little. They just are. The context matters. For example, when my husband's back was like in pain, like it was important. Like we needed to go and get new mattresses. When I didn't need a mattress, right? If it had been a month earlier or 2 months earlier, the mattresses we were using were fine. And I wouldn't have gone to pay that price. But once there's that, they talk about pain points in marketing. There was a very big pain point. So the context matters. So really think about what you're offering your client. What is the context? Do they want it? Do they need it? Do they desire it? But if you think about, going out to get a mattress when you are in physical pain, that's very different from going out and like buying some new decorative pillows to put on the couch in your house because it's going to make your house look pretty. So the context is very important. And so your price isn't just that one-time price someone's going to pay, but there's a long-term value of your price and of your offer. And the value is in the eyes of the buyer. Now, you as the business owner, as the service provider or the one who's selling the products, you have to help your clients really appreciate the value. When my husband was in pain, they didn't have to do too much. We just laid down on like 3 or 4 different mattresses and we're like, yep, this is the one. And thank God it is. But you have to help your clients to appreciate the value if they can't see it, if they're focused on the price. And your belief in your deliverables matters, and it matters a lot. When you're in that selling relationship with your potential clients, your belief is what you're going to transmit and transmute to your potential clients. And that's what sells your offer. It's not the price. It's your belief that you can help your clients get the results that they want. And here are some of my clients' results. Right, one of my clients, recently raised her prices for her offer to $1,800, and she's getting clients signing up with her. Here's one of my clients, and she raised her prices, and she, was booked at her new price. And there we go. We have another client who was sharing her prices. Like my clients, when they come to me, we usually raise their prices by 50, 60, even 100%. And thank God my clients are getting amazing results and they're signing clients at their newer, higher prices. Pricing myth, number 2, is it makes sense to crowdsource my price. You can look at my face in this picture. I'm like, I don't really think it makes sense to crowdsource your price. Usually what happens is you're going to go out and ask a bunch of friends, what do they think about your price? But again, if your friends are not in the same industry, dealing with the same clients, they're going to bring all of their money blocks into their pricing. They might, like, imagine if I'd gone out to my neighbor and asked, do you think this is a good price for a mattress? She might be like, no, I would never pay that much for a mattress. Or if somebody, let's say you're a business coach like I am, and they would say, well, what about, Debbie's price for her business coaching? Does that make sense? My neighbor's not in business. So my neighbor's a teacher. My neighbor might think it's like a lot of money for a business coach and doesn't understand the value of the coaching that I do. So when you're crowdsourcing your price with a bunch of other people, number one, they're going to bring their money blocks in. They're not your clients. Generally, the people that are going to be the best reflection of the value of the work that you do are the people that you're selling to. Can you help them understand the value? And if you go and you stalk the market, you can look at what your competitors are doing, but they might be in business longer than you. They might be in business less than you. They might have different certifications, different life experience. Your life experience also matters, right? When I think about my offer and just the fact that I've had experience working on a trading floor on Wall Street and I understand investing and I have that practical, understanding of money, that's very different from most of the people in my industry. So it's going to be very hard to compare apples to apples. You're always going to be comparing apples to oranges when you're trying to crowdsource your price. So stop doing that. Work with a coach who can give you honest feedback about your offer. And this is how I want you to frame it. There's really no one in the world who does exactly what you do. Again, everybody comes with their life experience, and there's life experience that makes you more resilient. There's life experience that makes you stronger, that gives you more intuition. You've worked with different types of people, right? And you've had different training, education, certifications. People are gifted with intuition. Some people have it, and some people are way more practical. And you have your specific family of origin and your God-given gifts, right? You were created in the image of God. God is infinite. Today, there are 8 billion people on the planet, and there's not any other person in the world today who is exactly like you, and there never will be another you. So stop crowdsourcing your prices, because you're not going to get feedback from your people. When you have to go out into the world and sell your offer, your price and the way you sell it has to do with your money blocks, your resistance, and your thoughts about your price. And then you can get feedback from your clients to see, is there some tweaking in your sales price, in your sales process, or the price that you might have to make. Here's another reframe, is to stop focusing on your competition. If you're one of those people that like stalks your competition and trolls them and tries to figure out what they're charging and maybe even what ideas they have, stop it. Stop asking people who don't need or want what you're offering, and just come back home. Come back to you. Come back to someone who's on your side, who understands business, who can help you figure out what's the right price for you to be offering today at this stage of your business. All right, money myth number 3 is it takes time to raise your prices. So here's how I feel about that. If you all got the chills about that, that's how I feel about it takes time to raise your prices. People think that, oh, I just raised my prices 3 months ago. I just raised my prices 6 months ago. I just lowered my prices. We're going to be talking about raising prices and lowering prices. It doesn't take time to raise your prices, because if you have a price and you've got 20 people booked out to use your services, for example, or you're selling like hotcakes the product that you sell, it shows that there's demand for what you're offering. And if the demand is so high so quickly for what you're offering, or maybe it's been taking a long time for you to sell it and you might need to slow down and evaluate your sales process, but you can change your price whenever you want. As a business owner, you get to decide when is the right time, the optimal time for you to change your price. Time doesn't matter. Your certifications or your degrees don't matter. I mean, they do give you background. I don't want to say that you don't need any training or any certification, but what your clients are really looking for is the results that you help them achieve. If you're a copywriter, for example, right? Can you help them by writing copy that's going to convert potential clients into actual clients? If you're a website designer, Are you creating a website that's easy to manage? The customer journey when people land on your website is easy, or do they click links and the links are broken? Or is it slow to load, for example? The results that your clients get is what matters. And so that's what people are paying attention to. And again, we talked about in myth number one, it's the long-term value of the results. It's not that one-time price. So don't think that if you've had the same prices for 3 months, you're not allowed to change them. Or don't think that you have to wait 4 years. And just because we're in a recession right now, you can't raise your prices. There are people and companies, businesses that are raising their prices right now. I mean, the stock market is already up like 20% this year, a little bit more. So that means that there is inflation and prices are rising. Just because we're in a recession doesn't mean that you cannot raise your prices. Myth number 4 is that you are responsible for your clients' results. And I know I might get a little bit of pushback on this one, especially if you're in a service-based business, is that you have to help your clients get results. And I want to think about like my personal trainer. I work out with a personal trainer who unfortunately is leaving me and moving to the United States in a month and a half, and I have to go get a new one. But I'm the one who has to show up. If I show up 15 minutes late consistently, time after time after time, and if I don't push myself when I go to work out with my personal trainer, like she's not sitting there with like a bat over my head pushing me to get results. Of course, she's going to do her maximum effort, but your clients also have a responsibility to put in their maximum effort. And my dad had back surgery in March. If he doesn't go to physical therapy to help him get better, whatever the surgeon did, which thank God was very successful, and he's walking 2-3 miles a day already, right? But if he doesn't do his physical therapy and get himself out of bed, it doesn't matter how amazing his surgeon is. My dad's long-term results are just not going to happen, even though the surgeon did his maximum on the surgery. When you believe that your client's results are 100% in your hands, right, you're going to become the savior, right? You're going to turn them into needy, or you might even turn them into a victim. It depends on the relationship that you're having with your clients. But what ends up happening is you're going to disempower your clients. You're not going to believe that they're strong, that they're resilient, that they can get results. And you might be overworking to people please your clients and help them get, results when they're adults and they're thinking and they can actually do some of the work themselves to get themselves the results. And when you believe that it's in your hands 100%, that's when your ego gets let loose, where ego is edging God out. You're forgetting that there is a divine creator who really operates and gives us all the success that we do and don't have in the world. All right, so here's what I want you to believe, that your clients are 100% whole and they're capable, and they too are committed to success. And I want you to believe in yourself, believe in your offer and your ability to get your clients' results, and believe in God's divine providence. We show up and we do our maximum. As I said, we do our hishtadlus, we put our maximum effort into the work that we do, and we give it over to God, because the success is the ultimate success. The success is in his hands. And be willing to feel uncomfortable. That means when you're quoting your price and when you're not overworking and you're giving things over to your clients and handing it off to them and hoping that they're going to, do the work that they're supposed to do, their homework, however you want to call it, like just you can be a little bit uncomfortable and trust harder in God and trust harder in your clients that they can actually get the results that they came from. Like imagine if you're an artist and somebody bought a beautiful painting that you painted, and then you met them 6 months ago and said, how do you like that artwork in your home? And they're like, oh, well, actually, we actually didn't get around to like hanging it yet, right? That can feel very uncomfortable, but you're not going with the hammer and nails and banging it into the wall to make sure that your client hangs the painting that you painted. I mean, maybe you'll offer that as an add-on service. You're going to bring your crew over to make sure that it gets put up, but really be willing to let go of the reins and be uncomfortable a little bit in your offer. You don't have to dot all the I's and cross all of the T's for the clients. I'm not saying be negligent, but you can't do everything. Your clients are also responsible for their end of the bargain. Okay, pricing myth number 5 is you have to honor your old price. Prices go up prices go down, especially in 2024 when we're in a recession. Prices go up or down. But I had a client who told me that his potential client, had come to him like 15 months ago and he had quoted a price. And he said to me, do I have to honor this price? I'm like, no. Right? Just because you gave someone a quote 15 months ago and they haven't acted on it until now, like prices go up and down based on inflation, based on your availability, based on demand, based on, again, the economic environment. There are many prices that, if there's a clearance sale, imagine you go into a store and yesterday that dress that you wanted to buy was $100 and today it's $50. Do you have to honor the old price like last week? Like, no, you want to buy it at $50 if it's on a 50% off sale. And if the price goes up to $150 because they were raising their prices, right? It's a new stock, a new line, or maybe it's the same thing at a higher price. The store also doesn't have to honor their old price. We can ask, we can say, hey, by the way, I was here a month ago and the price was $100. Will you honor that price? And if the answer is no, it's no. So if you give a quote, make sure that you put a time limit on your quote and you get to raise and lower your prices when it makes sense for you and for your business. And you can raise or lower your prices for new clients and existing clients. And this happens a lot with my coaching clients. They'll work with a client for 3 months or 6 months, and then it's going to come up to a renewal conversation. And their prices went up in the meantime. They're like, well, do I have to offer her the old price? I'm like, no. Your prices went up for all your new clients. You also get to raise your prices for your existing clients because you've been working for 6 more months. You have more experience. Your clients are getting better results or they're getting faster results. You don't have to honor your old prices. If you want to, you can. I would ask you why. I might challenge you on that. But the real question is like, why would you even consider keeping your prices the same if the value that you're offering your clients or the speed of the results that you're giving to your clients has improved? Your people pay for speed. People pay to collapse time and they pay for faster results. That's why we all love sending things by Amazon Prime because it gets there in 2 days if you live in the United States, or even 1 day, right? I ordered something just now when I was in the States. It got there in less than 24 hours. How fun is that? Right? We pay for FedEx. So let's talk about your bonus. The bonus money block that we have, and that is money is scarce, or that there's never enough money. And people really do walk around the planet believing that there's not enough money, or they don't have the money gene, or the people on the other side of the tracks or in a different neighborhood, or somebody else like has enough money, but there's not enough for me. And this is something that is wired into your body, but there's like a scarcity feeling around money, and it's sort of like infusing. It's like bad perfume. You know how bad perfume, you go into a department store and it just like smells like cheap perfume sometimes, unless you're over by the Chanel No. 5 counter. But the scarcity is like living inside of you and you're believing that you never have to have enough and there's not enough, and you like shy away from pricing conversations. So when you're feeling that scarcity in your subconscious mind and in your nervous system, that's something that's coming from your money lineage, and you want to explore that. Is it that money doesn't grow on trees? Was there fighting about money in your family? Was there really a situation where there wasn't enough money, and that's what your like inner belief is about money that's living inside your body? Because your family of origin story around money, plus any inherited generational trauma around money, is going to show up in your pricing and in your sales conversations. And you want to clear that so that it's not influencing you and you can really focus on the long-term value without like, maybe they're not going to buy, maybe I should discount it. And I've seen this with some of my clients recently. They'll sign new clients at their higher price, and then they don't sign clients for a little bit, and they'll be like, maybe I should lower my price. It's like, no, let's clear the blocks to money so that you can remember how valuable what you're doing is, and you can go out there again and you can close those sales conversations. There's also this idea of negative consequences of wealth, right? If we make more money, and this often comes from things that we heard our parents say or grandparents say around money, people like live with fear of what other people are going to think. Like, oh, if I make more money, what are they going to think about me? What are they going to say about me? And people, instead of like doing our own work, we're like focused on what's happening all around us. Or we're afraid of becoming something or someone that we're not, like as if we're going to change. And my underlying belief is that money amplifies who you already are. If you're a generous person, more money is going to allow you to be more generous. If you're a miserly person, more money is going to mean you're going to hold on to it even tighter, because money is just a thing. It's a tool. It's neutral. It's pieces of paper with like plastic coating in different colors. Money is not inherently good or bad. It's just a tool. It just is. Another thing that people are afraid of is their fear of what more money will do to the kids, right? That it's going to spoil them, that it's going to make them lazy, that it's going to make them feel like privileged, and that's or entitled. And that's different from money. That's that's really comes to your parenting and how you parent your children. But again, it has nothing to do with money. If you have more money, it's a gift that you can help your kids and involve them in a conversation. Say, hey, let's see together where we can give. Who do we want to support? What do we want to do with our money that will help our money, help other people thrive or rise or, get out of debt. So that's something that is a parenting situation, has nothing to do with the money. And then there's the fear of managing money. Again, it comes down to your savings and your investing, your taxes. If you have more money, people are like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have all those scary conversations and talk to accountants. If I have no money, I don't need to worry about it. Yeah, that's true. And if you have more money, then you get to take care of your future self with it. And it's just a new language that you get to learn. Some people move from the United States to Israel like I did, and we learn Hebrew. Other people jump into the money world and they have to learn about stocks and bonds and investments and returns and taxes and things like that. But you can learn about managing money. It's not rocket science. It is pretty simple, basic math once you understand it. And most adults can figure out the basics of managing money so that they can have an intelligent conversation with an investment manager or with a financial planner if they've done just a little bit of work. But you shouldn't be afraid of earning money because you might have to manage money. So let's just have a reframe for this money block or myth around money. Number one is God is unlimited, right? He's infinite, he's unlimited, and there is an inexhaustible supply of money in the world. Money basically circulates around and around. People, I can buy from the local store, and then people that work in the store get paid, and also the manufacturers and all of the people who are doing the packaging of the products. Like if I just go to the store and I buy a carton of milk, there are so many different people in that supply chain, from the farmers and the people taking care of the cows and who's supplying the food to the cows and then milking the cows and the machinery for milking the cows and who produces the cartons and the trucks that take it to the supermarket. Just think about how money moves around the world. Just a few dollars the same dollars can be circulated around and around and around. There really is an inexhaustible supply of money in the world. When it comes down to you personally, just remember that people want to pay you money. Do all people want to pay you money? No, all people do not want to pay you money, but some people want to pay you money, especially if you're trustworthy, you're authentic, you're in integrity, you're an honest person, and you create that know, like, and trust factor with your clients. People will want to pay you money because they want the results that you offer. And when people want results, they go to people that they trust. They're not going to go to charlatans. They're not going to go to people that are, listen, some people do get sucked in. What can I say? But at the end of the day, people want to change their future. They want results. And when you believe that your clients are divinely contracted to work with you, and this is a thought that I love thinking, not everybody in the world is going to work with me, and that's fine. But God has already figured it out. And there are people who are divinely contracted to work with me. And my work in the world is to help them find me, to open the channels for my clients to come and find me and work with me. And when I make more money, nothing bad happens. And especially as women, and it's only about the last 100 years that women have joined the workforce in large numbers, in droves. So we don't have thousands of years of history like men of being in the working world. But we really have to believe that nothing bad happens when women make more money. Our families don't suffer. Our partners don't suffer. We don't suffer. When women make more money, we're such heart-centered giver people that the world benefits when women make more money, when all people make more money. So let's give a recap of the 5 pricing myths that we've talked about today. so that you're going to walk away with these very strong beliefs. Number one is that all prices are neutral. Number two, there will never be another you. You're unique, you're special, you are a one in a gazillion creation. God created you with a purpose and a mission in this world, and there is nobody on this earth today, there never was, and there never will be anybody like you. You are unique. When people work with you, they're paying for the results that you're offering. They're not paying for your time. So if you want to raise your prices after 3 months or 6 months or 3 weeks or 6 weeks, it's okay, because people want the results that you give them. And your clients are also perfect, and they're whole, and they're powerful. Your clients help themselves get the results that they want. And you're allowed to raise your prices or lower your prices if you're feeling like it's a tough time because of the recession and you're in more of a luxury industry and people aren't, buying luxury goods at the moment. You can also lower your prices. There is an inexhaustible supply of money in the world, and your clients are divinely contracted to work with you. All right, my friends, that is the end of the webinar, the masterclass for today. Now I want to share with you the work that I do, because I said in the beginning that I'm going to introduce you to my group coaching program, Wired for Wealth. Is it possible for you to change the way you think about money, for you to change the way you're thinking about your prices, and to sell for your ideal clients who've been contracted to work with you, for you to sell like an empowered person and not like an awkward, like feeling sleazy about it? And my answer is 100% yes. And I want to introduce you to Wired for Wealth, which is my group coaching program. It's high touch, it's high vibe, and there's a lot of support in this signature coaching program that I have created for mission-driven Jewish entrepreneurs. And we also have some non-Jewish women in the program as well, just in case that there's anybody that has a question about that. Okay, when you join Wired for Wealth, you stop consuming tons of courses that are costing you like $37 or $97. I know that this webinar is very valuable and people listen to podcasts, including my podcasts. But what happens is when you don't have a step-by-step process is you're piecing together, I like to say sometimes with like glue and duct tape, you're piecing together information and bootstrapping your business rather than following a process. And it's the process and the accountability that gets you the results that you're looking for. So you stop spinning in confusion. You stop getting up on Monday morning and Tuesday morning and wondering what you're supposed to do today. And the overwhelm of building a business, really, I mean, I don't want to mislead you and say it's not overwhelming to build a business. There are a lot of moving parts. So it can get overwhelming, but when I just like eliminate the overwhelm for you and give you the step-by-step process, you know if this month you should be focusing on marketing or selling or creating your signature offer or managing your money better. And then you're not overspending time and overthinking the details. You're actually getting to work doing what you are created to do in this world, right? I take the guesswork out of building your business for you because there's already plenty of trial and error in business. That's what we're always doing. We're taking something that we think is going to work. We go out into the world, we get some feedback, we tweak it, and we go out there again. But I want to eliminate the trial and error and the guesswork that doesn't need to be part of your business building journey. Okay, so together, we work together, we collapse time, we stay accountable. You think bigger because you think as a CEO, not as someone who's like, spinning a lot of plates, but you actually slow down and strategize your business rather than throwing a bunch of spaghetti at the wall. And we minimize your trial and your error in your business. Okay, Wired for Wealth is a group coaching program, and I want to point out that you have lifetime access. When I say lifetime access, it's not just to pre-recorded modules. There's lifetime access to daily coaching in our Slack channel. We have a Slack community where you can put up any question you have on a daily basis, and I answer you in Slack. If you don't know what Slack is, it's a community platform, kind of like a Facebook group, if you know what a Facebook group is, or if you're in another community program. But you can come in there and ask a question any day of the week. You can get feedback on your copywriting if you're writing, an email or newsletter, or even putting up a social media post, copy feedback for your website, right? So there's a lot of high touch going on in Wired for Wealth. And when I say lifetime access, I really mean lifetime access. My goal is for all of the clients, all of the women in the program to create $150,000 or $200,000 in their business through Wired for Wealth. And some people it takes longer because we're women with big families, my clients are having babies, they're making bar mitzvahs, they're making weddings, they're taking time off to be with their families, which is why I give you lifetime access. The goal is that you make your money back in 2 to 4 months and 10x your investment. We're going to talk about that in a moment, within a year or maybe 2 years if you have a lot of family stuff going on. In Wired for Wealth, we'll create your signature offer. One thing that I find is that a lot of women have like 5, 6, 8 offers. And so they're trying to sell so many things that they never focus and get really good at selling a single signature offer. And it takes a lot of energy to be selling multiple offers. So we help you simplify your business and you learn to sell one thing. And we create confidence and mastery in the sales process. And you know me, I'm all about money, money management, money mindset, the way you think about it, and healing your relationship with money from the inside out. All right. When you join, you get my Sacred Sales Conversation Workbook. I really believe that sales are a sacred encounter with your potential clients. And when my clients use this process that I've created in this book, it's just so much easier for them to know what to say, how to react or how to respond, not be reactive on a sales conversation. And they stop feeling like fear and like resistance to getting on a sales call because they see it as part of the beautiful relationship that they're having with their potential clients. And these are just some of the things and the feedback that people have said about using the process, right? 2 sales today to bring in $3,000. She used the sales booklet and she followed all the recommendations. And she really feels more confidence because that's one of the things that slows us down in business is that we're feeling like really resistant and yucky and manipulative about having sales conversations. And when you change the way you think about sales and you really believe that you're serving your clients when you're selling them what they want, that's why they showed up on the sales call, then we take away all the drama so you can focus on helping your clients get what they really want and what they really need in their lives or in their businesses. Okay, Wired for Wealth is a community where you create your CEO identity. You become a CEO rather than just the thing that you do or how you show up and you serve people, but you start to think and plan with a strategic frame of mind. Yesterday on our group coaching call, I said to several women in the business, I was like in the call, like, what does your business need from you right now? For so many women, their business needed them to be marketing. Now, you might not want to go out there marketing. You might feel icky about marketing, but it's not about you. It's about your clients. And if your clients don't see you, if you're not out there sharing your gifts and doing the marketing, they can't find you. So the business needs you to market. And when you think like a CEO, you start to market in service of your people. Okay, it's a community and women are growing and they're changing their relationship with money. And you get daily accountability. I said in our Slack channel and daily coaching. I was on Monday this week, I was in a conference in New Jersey for Jewish women entrepreneurs. And one of my clients came up to me. In the last 6 months, she's created like $50,000, $60,000 in her business. She said the accountability was everything. Like she's had such a beautiful year so far this year based on the work that we did. And she specifically mentioned the accountability, which is why I added here, because if you're not accountable to anybody, and you might have an accountability group, but nobody's forcing you. Nobody's, like one step ahead of you and forcing you and pushing you. I don't force anybody. I believe, as I said before, that my clients can get the results. They don't need to show up for that accountability. But let me tell you, I've got my business coach. The accountability really helps. And then you collapse time and you make more money faster for your family, for yourself, for your community. So here's what you get in Wired for Wealth. You get weekly group coaching for life, and I mean it, live group coaching. I mean, in the fine print, I say, I promise, God willing, I should be healthy, a minimum of 2 years. But my goal, this is my signature program, is that I'm really going to be out there helping you to grow your multi-6-figure business, and I'm there for you for life. We have a workshop where I give you something new about business, a framework focusing on marketing or sales, time management. For a lot of women with large families, figuring out how to integrate their business into their busy life is so challenging. So we work on time and getting things done. As I said, there's a Slack channel and there's an online portal with 15-minute training videos. But this is something that's important that I want to tell you, that starting in July, I am going to be re-recording the modules in my program. And anybody who joins now is going to get to sit in on me re-recording all the training and all the modules in Wired for Wealth, because that was part of what I did last month in the United States. Is I just rethought about my business and how I can help my clients get faster results. So you get to join me live. I know people say, like, I want to be there live. I don't want to watch the recordings. So you get to show up and be part of the live recordings. That's going to start in July. And then you get access to everything for life, including all these bonuses. There will never be another you. It's a daily journaling guide that I have, the Sacred Sales Conversation Guide. There's a goal workbook, a money mood journal, and occasionally we have 30-day sprints, because when you sprint, you actually get things done. So we sprint and we rest, we sprint and we rest. So if you sign up for a sales call between now and Sunday, June 9th, there's also going to be a 3-hour workshop called Turn Your Work into a Family Business, which is going to be focused specifically on how you can take the money that you're making in your business and help your family. It doesn't mean that your kids are going to come and work for you in your business, but your family is going to be your focus, and we want you making more money and taking care of your money in service of your family. So when you sign up for a sales call by Sunday, then you will be invited into this bonus Turn Your Work into a Family Business workshop that's going to happen in July. The investment for Wired for Wealth is $6,000, or you can make it in one upfront payment or in 12 payments of $555. And if you are a resident of Israel, VIT is applicable. I really believe that this is risk-free, because I'm going to coach you for life to grow and stretch and challenge yourself, realize your dreams, and create the 6-figure business that you really, really want and desire. What I want to show you now is I want to invite you into the membership portal, because I know that some people like to see what's going on in the membership portal. So I want to just change my screen so you can see what's going on in Wired for Wealth. So here's the current membership portal. Okay, I hope you can see it now. Here's the current membership portal. And as I said, I'm going to be re-recording some of these modules in July, so that it's going to make it even more straightforward and impactful for you. So here we have, when you start here, there's the welcome and introduction videos, and we have monthly business building workshops. So far, let me just explain them to you. Your CEO mindset. This is on creating your signature offer, mastering sales conversations, goal setting, time management. And we did a masterclass on abundance, 100 days of planning. We've also done workshops on copywriting, and we have some copywriters in the group. And so one of our copywriters gave a workshop specifically on copywriting mistakes. Okay, and then we have here broken down into creating your offer and marketing it, sales conversation, money, mindset, and management. There's a specific module on debt here for my clients who are in debt. And if you are unfamiliar with my work, I really believe that it's okay to borrow money to grow your business. There is no clothing store or restaurant or, supermarket that started without debt, because you need to borrow money in order to turn the lights on and stock your shelves and open the doors to your product, your brick and mortar business. And the same thing can be said for a service-based business. So we talk a lot about debt, and as I said, I'm neutral about it. And then there's a whole module here on money healing. If you have some family of origin stuff, for lack of a more eloquent word, that needs some healing and some clearing. And people have really found this money healing module to be helpful in their business. And then here you also have recordings of all the coaching calls with, let me just open this up here. You can just see all the different topics so that you can go back. If there's something specific that you want, you can review something specific that you're looking for, and you can find it in the coaching calls that we've done. So that is everything that you get when you join Wired for Wealth. I'm going to stop the share for now. And if anybody has a question about the program or question about pricing myths, then this is your opportunity right now to put something into the chat box and ask me anything that you want. So I am here for you to help you to, overcome any money blocks or answer any questions about Wired for Wealth. I've closed down the chat. Does anybody have any questions? Let me just scroll through here. Signature song is a jazz standard. There will never be another you. Norman, send that to me because I want it. Some people are congenital nickel and dimers. How do you deal with that? That's a great question. And I think the number one emotion that I encourage my clients to bring to their clients is curiosity. If somebody is nickeling and diming you, right, you can just like ask them about it, like, hey, what's going on? Right. Again, reminding them in a nice way. We're not lecturing people. Just think about kids. When you lecture kids, right? Kids do not like to be lectured, and they're more likely to resist you and do the opposite of what you say if you're going to lecture them. But we want to ask them what sort of results it's getting them when they're nickeling and diming you, right? Help them to understand, like, yeah, like you're very much, you appreciate, especially Norman as an investment manager, right? You appreciate that they're concerned about their money and they want to protect their money, right? You're on their side. You're there to help them grow their money. And let's not forget that it's not this one-time price, but there's a long-term value to the work that you're doing, and help them to appreciate that. Like, but really thank them for the question. Thank them for being so concerned about money, because you're on their side, right? You guys, you're a team, you're working together. And just be very curious. Like the thing that you can do best is to ask questions of your clients, like, so that you get more information for them, rather than being a lecturer and trying to tell them, stop nickeling and diming me, because that's not going to work. Eliezer says, yeah, my own mattress. I know you were also traveling, right? Hedva asks, is there a limit to how much I can charge as a massage therapist? That's a great question. And it really depends on where your clients are coming from, because, if you go to a hotel, a 5-star hotel, or you have like some sort of experience, people will pay in certain environments very high prices for a massage. So you could be in your community, because massage is very much, you're localized, but there will be the people that are charging more money and charging less money. And it's something that you're going to have to test out with your clients to see where they start resisting. But it could be that you have to fill your day with lower priced clients, or if you double your prices, for example, you might be able to work with half the number of people at twice the price, and have more free time in your day for your family, to create something else. If you wanted to add, maybe you wanted to train other massage therapists. Maybe there's something else you want to learn, or another modality. Maybe you want to spend time taking care of your money and learning about investing so you can grow your money. So, this is something that when I work with my clients creating their signature offer, we talk about where they are in their business. But one of my clients, we started working together in April, and we looked at the value of her offer, and we doubled her price. And she signed clients, a few clients in May. She had her highest month ever, because she changed the way she was offering her packages to her clients. So there usually is some flexibility. I mean, are you going to charge $1,000 for a massage? Probably not. And probably not at a luxury. You probably are not going to get away with $1,000 for a massage at a luxury hotel. So for most of us, depending on what industry you're in, there is going to be a ceiling. But the question is, how close are you to the ceiling, and how much flexibility do you have to raise your prices so that your clients get, different service and better service? Great question. When you sign up, how often do we have Zoom calls? We have calls every single Tuesday, except for this last month. I've been traveling. I said 3 weeks, so they've moved around a little bit, but now we're going back to Tuesdays. Next week, we're going to have a Jewish holiday, so we're not going to meet, but they're weekly. And once a month we take off, but we don't have a call. So everybody has time for integration. Everybody has time for catch up, but they're on Tuesdays at 11 o'clock in the morning, Israel time, and 5 o'clock in the afternoon, Israel time, which is 10 o'clock in the morning, New York time. So there are 2 calls every single Tuesday, so that everybody gets the coaching that they need every single week. And if you can't make it, I mean, for example, I don't always make it to the calls that my business coach offers, because they're at 10 o'clock on Wednesday nights. And sometimes I'm just so tired. So I will go back to the recording and the replay, and I always get coached. Like, I always set an intention that I'm going to get what I need. So I'll go back and I'll watch the recordings and I'll listen in. And there's always something that somebody else asks that I needed to ask also. In fact, sometimes when you're getting coached, you're like feeling a little bit like in the headlights and the spotlights, kind of like that deer in the headlights kind of look, right? And you don't remember. But when you're watching somebody else get coached, you're like, oh, I also have that issue. And I've had so much progress and advancement just from watching other people get coached. At 10 o'clock at night or 11 o'clock at night, it's very rare for me to ask questions, because I'm just too burnt out at the end of the day. right? So Alana's saying, are there any dates? So I'm currently enrolling in Wired for Wealth. And as I said, when you join now, you get if you sign up for a sales call, Alana, you already signed up. So we have a call next week. There is going to be there's going to be the special workshop, Turn Your Business into a Family Business. And in July, I'm going to be doing the live re-recordings of the curriculum. So when you join now in June, you also get to take part in that. There are usually enrollment periods for Wired for Wealth. And right now, in June, I'm in an enrollment period. The next enrollment period won't be until September. And then it's going to be, right before the Jewish holidays and then after the Jewish holidays. I have to figure out November, December, because we're going to have a population explosion in the Sasson family, God willing. So I might be busy with my little peoples. Right. So as I said, so if you have any more questions about that, Alana, ask me. If you're thinking about joining Wired for Wealth, and I know that people are going to say, oh, it's summer and my kids are off of school and they're going, summer camp, but it's not as many hours. And here's what I want you to know. So many of my clients have joined right before they were making a family wedding. Last year, at this time in the spring, 3 of my clients were making family weddings. But you know what? The fact that they joined at that time meant that they got a head start. They could do a little bit of work before their family weddings and really get themselves, get some momentum going. And then once the wedding was over, they obviously need time to decompress, to straighten up their house and get back to life. But they already knew, they already had the runway, they were already on the runway. They were already moving, so they didn't waste time. It wasn't like, what am I going to do? When do I start? I don't know. The groundwork was already set to get back to work. And that's so important. We can do work over the summer. I think that's also a money block or a mindset block, thinking, no, my kids are off. I can't work. If you don't have a 2-year-old, a 3-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 5-year-old, a bunch of little kids, right? Then there's usually time. They're going to go to camp. You'll have time to work, right? Right. You're going to have a bar mitzvah. Mazal tov. You should be able to do a little bit of work, because a bar mitzvah is a beautiful simcha. It's a wonderful thing to happen. But if you're after the bar mitzvah, after September, then it's going to be the holidays. Then it's going to be November before you start working on your business. And you've lost so much time. You've lost June, July, August, September. I know when you make a decision, just making the decision changes you. I had a client sign up to work with me 2 years ago, right before Rosh Hashanah. The moment she said yes, she raised her prices by 80%, 80%. And we didn't even start to work together for another month until after the Jewish holidays. But there is a switch that happens in your brain. You take yourself more seriously. You take your work more seriously. You believe in yourself, and you believe harder in your clients and their ability to get results, because you believe harder in you. Right? When we sell ourselves on something, we also have more empathy and more understanding for our clients, and we believe harder in them. So that's what I really believe about showing up for yourself. There's never a right time, especially in the Jewish world. There's never a right time. How many people thought that they were going to start, getting back into their businesses in October, and then we got a war, right? There's just never going to be a good time, because there's always going to be a Jewish holiday or a summer holiday or something else happening that we weren't expecting. But that's that story about Tom and Jim. Right? As Jim said, that he was the one who was the gas station attendant. He's like, I cannot control the outside circumstances, but I can make sure that I'm the one who's best set up to service my clients when they come in with their flat tires. And that's what I said is if you have to take one message away from today's masterclass, is take away that message that we can't control the things going on outside of us, but we can control what's going on inside of us, and how much we show up for ourselves, for our family, for our business, and how much we show up for our clients, the ones who are divinely contracted to work with us. And that's the important message that I want you to walk away with from today's masterclass. So if anybody has any more questions, I'm still here. Let me just go back, share my screen a little bit so that you can see again what you get with Wired for Wealth. I think I've got another slide here. Oh, no, there you go. There's the bonus that if you sign up for a sales conversation by Sunday, it's a 72-hour bonus. Then you'll be invited to this special workshop, which is to turn your work into a family business. Let me just back up here. And so that you can see if you have any questions about any of these features of the program and why I give you these features, right? Why we have this online portal with these little videos, because there might be something that you don't know, and you don't need to have a whole question about marketing or about copywriting, but you just want like a quick little, it's like a little espresso. You just need a quick little booster. So you go back and you watch the short recording, or there's something about sales conversations. So you've got the guide here, and you can go and you can read through it and you can find what you're looking for. And then making sure that you're managing your mind on a daily basis, because our brains can get very much out of control. So we have a daily journaling exercises to help you reconnect with who you are. So that's what I have for you today. Does anybody have any other questions? Because there you go. Somebody wrote in, by the way, and she wanted to know, and I hope that I answered it. But if Naomi, I haven't answered your question about, knowing that what you do is valuable, but in the moment on your sales call, you lose sight of value. And I think that that's such a great question that so many people answer. And that has to do with you doing the daily work of reminding yourself about the long-term value of what the work is in the world that you do, and being so curious on your calls, because what you do is valuable. Like, I know you're changing lives. You know that you're changing lives and changing relationships. And you know that there is a long-term generational impact for people changing their relationship in their marriage, on their kids. Like, how much therapy are we saving kids? How much therapy, like how much are they saving, in terms of the long-term, the children thriving when two parents are connected and the relationship is mutually satisfying and mutually encouraging, right? The children are like those little dominoes. There's a ripple effect. And when you're remembering how valuable the work is that you do, and you're helping your clients, like not by lecturing them, but by helping them understand what it's costing them over the long term. Again, it's not that one-time price that somebody's going to pay you, because there's a long-term benefit, as I said, to sleeping in my beautiful mattress, in my beautiful own bed. And when you have that long-term value in your relationship, kids need less tutoring in school. Kids are more resilient. They have more self-esteem. They have more confidence, because they know that they have a very strong foundation with their parents at home. So if you have any more questions about like really, really believing the value, like that's your daily work. I call it, by the way, benevolent brainwashing. We have a module in Wired for Wealth called benevolent brainwashing. You brainwash yourself on the value of the work that you do, because we forget. We forget how valuable the work is that we do, and the results our clients get. We like, our brain like has an electric like fritz. And we forget when we get on a sales call, because we get awkward. We don't want to be sleazy. We don't want to be manipulative. So if you have any questions about the value of your offer, please put it into the chat box so that I can help you to overcome that. And if anybody has any more questions about Wired for Wealth, what you get, because there have been some great questions here on the daily availability in Slack, if you know what Slack is, and really on those weekly calls, so that you can show up and you can really, really get the coaching that you need to grow your business, because every single person in this room has God-given gifts. And I want to make sure that your gifts get out to the world to serve your people. All right, my friends. Any last questions? We're going to do a countdown from 10. And if not, you're going to get the recording. All right. And you can review the recording and make sure that you're showing up in your business and charging prices that reflect the long-term value of what you do, rather than keeping yourself small and showing up with your money blocks. All right. Going once, going twice. All right, my friends, I will see you. Thank you so much for showing up today. And the recording will be in your inbox in the next couple of hours. Bye for now.